Where did Cain's wife come from? If you love the Bible, just click follow. One of the first questions people ask when they read Genesis, after Cain murdered Abel, he told God something surprising. He said, "Everyone that findeth me shall slay me." And immediately we wonder, who is Cain afraid of? There were only a few people alive, right? And then another question follows. Where did Cain's wife come from? The truth is the Bible never tells us directly. Genesis simply says that Cain went out from the presence of the Lord, dwelt in the land of Nod, and he had a wife. It doesn't explain who she was, it doesn't tell us her name, and it doesn't specifically identify the people that Cain feared. So what do we know? We know that Adam and Eve had many more children than just Cain, Abel, and Seth. Genesis chapter 5 tells us that Adam had sons and daughters. In other words, the first family was much larger than the Bible records in detail. The Bible focuses on the people that are important to the story, not every person who was alive. The traditional understanding held by most Christians throughout history is that Cain married a close relative descended from Adam and Eve. Under that view, the people Cain feared were members of this growing family and future generations who might seek revenge for Abel's murder. Now, some people aren't satisfied with that answer, and that's okay, because the Bible's main focus isn't population numbers or anything like that, it's the human heart. Genesis spends its time talking about not Cain's wife or how many people lived on the earth. Instead, it focuses on Cain's jealousy, his anger, God's warning, the murder of Abel, and God's judgment mixed with mercy. In fact, one of the most remarkable parts of the story is that after Cain murdered his brother, God still spoke to him and even protected him from being killed. The question of Cain's wife is interesting. The question of who Cain feared is interesting. But Genesis seems far more interested in showing us something else. How quickly sin spread out throughout humanity after the fall. Because only one generation after Adam and Eve left Eden, a brother had already killed a brother. And sadly, things are about to get